Alright, here it is. It's my remote control lawnmower I've been working on for about 2 months. I think I finally got it done. I'll give you a quick overview. There's the headlights, the electric motor. A lot of people use those motors for building go-karts, and I'm using it to turn the blades. These are 2 linear actuators that I use to raise the mower deck up and down. It's got 2 12-volt car batteries on it in each of these boxes here. This is the battery charger to charge those batteries. This is the control box where all the electronics are at. I have a battery level indicator, a voltage indicator, and an amperage indicator. On this side I got the main cutoff switch that kills the power to the batteries, and this is the charging port. I just plug an extension cord in there to charge the batteries up, and this is the switch that raises the mower deck up and down. Everything except the mower deck itself is controlled by this remote control. It's used for flying model airplanes. To turn the wheels, each wheel is connected to a wheelchair motor right here, so it's got a 0 turn capability. There's another one over here on the other side. And on the inside, these are all the electronics that make everything work. May seem a bit confusing, so I won't go into detail on that, but if you want any more information on that, I can be happy to share it with you. So I'll show you how to fire it up. Just hit the main power switch, and we don't have to turn these on, but I like the flashing lights, so it shows that the battery level is full. Because I got 25.5 volts right now, and we're not currently running any amperage through it because we don't have anything running. Then we grab the remote, and there's a power switch on the remote right here. And make sure everything's in the off position. So it's going to be hard to control the remote and use the camera at the same time, but I'll see if I can manage it. So this stick makes the wheels turn forward and backward. If I push it forward, the wheels go forward. There's backward. I got it up on jack stands right now, so it doesn't actually drive through my shed wall. Left. Just my 0 turn, and to the right. But it's actually pretty fast. But I don't really plan on mowing that fast. But as the motors turn, you can see the amperage go up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is raise the mower deck up by pushing the switch right here. You can watch the linear actuators work. Oops. If you want to lower it back down, just push it the other way. And see the headlights with the switch right here. And this switch over here is going to turn the mower deck on. So that's my initial test of everything. Everything seems to be working. So the problem is I built this inside my shed because I knew it would take a long time and I didn't want all the electronics out in the weather while I was building it. So now I actually have to take the mower deck off and probably pull these two batteries off and turn it sideways in order to get it out that door. Yeah, I wish I had a bigger shop too, but we make do with what we got. Removing the mower deck is actually quite easy. I've got pins here and here and here. So honestly, I just have to pull out this pin and this pin right here on each side, and that'll release the rear side of the mower deck. For the front side of the mower deck, I got a pin right there I can pull out and then take the belt off, and then the mower deck just slides right out. All right, got it outside, got it all put back together, got the batteries put back on, the mower deck put back on, belt is on. Guess I can do a little initial testing here. You know, this is kind of the moment of the truth. I've been working on this for 2 months. I really hope it works. If it doesn't work, I have two options. I can fix it and make it work, or I can tear this sucker completely apart and build a go-kart out of it. That sounds like fun too. But here's to hoping this thing works. So, kick our main power on. We'll raise up the deck. So far, so good. Now, this is where I'm not going to really be able to, drive it and hold the camera at the same time. But we can test the headlights. Oh, got to turn the remote on. All right. Test the headlights. Oh yeah. Why does it have headlights on it? Why not? All right, test the mower deck. First thing I'm going to do is take it through a little drivability test just to make sure everything steers the way it's supposed to. Oh, that popping is the sprocket slipping a little bit. I have to work on that a little bit. Alright, well, my initial test so far is a failure. It doesn't seem to want to go up the hill. It came down the hill okay, and I was hearing a clicking and popping sound, and what that is, there's a lot of slack in this chain right here, and so it's slipping on the sprocket. So I've got a turnbuckle here that I made into a chain tensioner, so I'm gonna loosen this nut. Oh, it's already loose. And tighten the chain up, and then tighten this nut back down. I'll get a wrench on that to make sure it locks that in place, and see if that's enough to stop the chain from slipping. My concern is that these wheelchair motors right here aren't strong enough to carry all the weight of this full-size riding lawnmower. So what I'm going to do is pull the mower deck off and see if everything works without that extra weight, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got the mower deck off. It's laying over there, so that'll lighten it up by, I don't know, 100 pounds or so. And let's test it out again and see if it works. Like I said, it's going to be hard to... My trusty assistant gave up on me. She's like, your crap don't work. I'm going inside. Let's see if I can do this. Steer it and hold the camera at the same time. Oh snap. Oh snap. It's working. So it's the weight. That's what the problem is. Too much weight. Alright. Let me go get my trusty assistant again. She can hold the camera while I test this thing out a little bit. My trusty assistant said she wanted to take a nap and doesn't want to be bothered right now. So I'm going to prop this camera on the tailgate of my truck and drive that thing around a little bit just to see how it works. I'm probably 50 feet away from it right now. I can figure out my left and my right. I'm coming straight at me. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Let's turn the lights on. Oh, look at that. It's working. Oh, everything's working according to plan. It's just those motors aren't powerful enough to carry the extra weight of that mower deck around. Holy cow. That might be a fun little go-kart. Can you still see it? It's pretty far away. Let me get it back up here. Oh yeah, it's working like a charm. Okay, so everything works except for the weight of the motors. What if I mowed it on level ground? Guess I can put the mower deck back on it and take it to the front yard and see how it works on level ground. I just thought of something too, that even if it works on level ground, it's not going to do me a whole lot of good because my whole backyard is a hill. And no, I'm not giving it to you folks with a level ground, but what I need is motors with more torque. But I don't have more motors or access to more motors with more torque, so I need to figure out a way to create more torque with the motors I have. And what I have is a small front sprocket and a small rear sprocket. So if I double the size of the rear sprocket, in theory that'll double the amount of torque this motor puts out. If that doesn't do it, I can triple the size of the rear sprocket. That way this smaller sprocket can turn 3 revolutions and only need to turn the bigger sprocket or the tire 1 revolution. So that would triple the amount of torque this thing has, and that would definitely get it to go up and down the hill. And this is what I love about building stuff. You know, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but when it doesn't, the fun part is figuring out what you got to do next to make it work. So let's give it a shot. All right, I got the mower deck back on it. Got it up on level ground. So we're going to try it on level ground and see how it works. I think it's going to work this time. And we'll go from there. I'm going to have to set this camera down so I can operate the remote, and we'll see how it works here. Reverse, forward. Alright, so far so good. So far so good. Alright, we're going to try to mow and see what happens. Oh, it's working. Can you see it? See if I can do this and steer at the same time. Operate the camera and steer at the same time. Not very well. Issues with the torque still. So a little bit of a hill kind of stops it. But I think once I get that torque fixed, then everything should work. Alright, so that's the initial test. I would call it a success. It's working. It just needs a little more torque in those motors, and I'll swap out those rear sprockets, and that should make a huge difference, but everything else is working according to plan. So okay, I finally got the new sprockets in the mail. Here they are right here. The old ones are 12 teeth and the new ones are 36 teeth. So those are going to go right here on the rear axle. That should give me 3 times the amount of torque as I had before. So I'm going to get these new rear sprockets on and we'll see what kind of power it's got now. Okay, I got the new chain sprockets on the rear. Kind of tough to see down in there. It's a much larger sprocket than what was on there before, so I had to lengthen the chain also. Got that done. Now I'm just waiting on the battery to finish charging up and I'll test it out. But it should have 3 times the amount of power as it had before. So let's keep your fingers crossed. Alright, it's time for the final test to see how this thing works. Well, it's going downhill fine, but it did that earlier. The real test is going to see how it goes uphill. So far, so good. Alright, it moves a little slower, but that's to be expected. And everything seems to be working fine. Alright, looks like it was a success. Alright, now let's try it with the mower deck running. See how everything works. to do this and hold the camera at the same time. All right, everything works on it. Fantastic.